It's not a thing. What is going on, everybody? It's the Fountain. We're here for a Monday Night Raw review for March the 28th, 2022. We are 5 days away from WrestleMania Saturday and 6 nights away from WrestleMania Sunday. Tonight, both Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar cut promos, no clashing between each other, but we saw both men come onto Monday Night Raw and talk about the upcoming pay-per-view. Also, we had a lot of SmackDown invasion of Monday Night Raw, as you had, for whatever reason, Ricochet took on Austin Theory, lost in 3 minutes. Corbin and Moss were scheduled to take on Drew McIntyre in a 2-on-1 handicap match, which of course, Mr. Baron Corbin wanted nothing to do with that match. And the Viking Raiders were brought over to SmackDown to get jobbed out to Omos. In the process, WWE managed to kill the little bit of mystique that Omos had left, that was worth anything before we got to WrestleMania, as he will be taking on Bobby Lashley at the pay-per-view. And Cody Rhodes did not make his WWE return tonight. Why? Because WWE did the one thing they should not have done. And they had a meeting earlier in the day, between Seth Rollins and Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon told him that he will have a match at WrestleMania, and he will find out who his opponent is the night of the show. Not going to find out tonight. He's not going to find out on Friday. He's going to find out the night of the show. So, WWE, within a week's time, went from, wow, everyone's going to want to tune in because Seth Rollins vows to hijack the show, make sure Monday Night Raw does not happen until he gets his WrestleMania moment, to why the fuck would I want to watch Monday Night Raw? You had people intrigued for a little bit to watch Monday Night Raw this week, and you killed it like that. Why? Why would you kill this company should be desperate for people to want to watch Monday Night Raw. Any single way that they can get people to watch Raw, they should get it to watch Raw. Seth gave people a reason to turn into Monday Night Raw. And what did they do? Mere hours before Monday Night Raw was to start, they took away that reason to tune in to Monday nights. It's absolutely ridiculous what they decided to do. They didn't, we'll know who he's wrestling on Sunday. I think they didn't actually say when it was. I don't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so the show opened up with Brock Lesnar coming to the ring to cut himself a nice, good old promo, getting ready for the pay-per-view. He comes out, does for the last few years, Paul Heyman's been doing all the yapping, so I'm going to do this now. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. And he had to laugh at that and said, that felt so good, but it sounded like it sucked. And he's never going to do it again. I asked this on social tonight. Why is this Brock Lesnar feel so likable? I don't think I could have ever guessed in any year that WWE was going to be able to make people like Brock Lesnar. It was I could have bet money on it that we were never going to actually have a time where people actually like Brock Lesnar. And here we are in the year 2022, and this is the best version of Brock Lesnar we have ever seen. This is the realest version of Brock Lesnar we have ever seen. And it's like, how is this guy so likable? Why do it's like, if you were somebody who, partakes in drinking or something, or whatever, Brock Lesnar is like the guy that you want to go have a drink with. That's what this kind of Brock Lesnar. That's what this Brock Lesnar feels like. It's somebody that you would like to go to the bar and have a drink with. Just putting it out there. I don't know what it is. It's the attitude, whatever. But this Brock Lesnar is like on a different level to any other Brock Lesnar we've had before. He's over with the fans, and it's like he's definitely going away probably after. And he was on, I think it was Pat McAfee's show a couple weeks ago, and he said that he was done after he lost the title to Drew McIntyre. That was it. That was his swan song. He was done. He was going home. He was retired. And then, of course, he was offered a huge money deal, came back to do what he's doing now. Maybe him putting over Roman Reigns on Sunday is going to be Brock Lesnar's swan song, and that is why we're getting the Brock Lesnars that we are seeing now. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but I just gonna have to leave it there. He's Lesnar says this Sunday at Wrestlemania he is about to spoil his gameplay in Reigns, but he and Reigns are going to take a trip down memory lane. Laughs at the what chance and says they can play along that if they want. Says they're going to take a trip down the road to Suplex City, introduces the Beast of Broadway, then hit the Carnival and go for a ride on the F5, and no one survives a ride on the F5. He laughs some more at the what chance and says he's WWE Hall of Fame with Stone Cold. Steve Austin will be there too. And he's also an ass kicker like him, but he didn't kick Lesnar's ass because he took his ball and went home, as we all know. That's enough of the chance, he says, then he and Reigns will be wedding crashers. His title and your title and my title will have a baby. And Lesnar will get full custody, which that I did not need him to talk to even classify that. Like, that was something I did not need to hear. And he's in a great mood tonight because in 6 nights he gets his hands on Reigns. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Says he will stand over Reigns, raise both titles in the air, and he will announce him as the new champion. It sounds like Lesnar's voice may have cracked in his last name. Because he said, the new WWE Unified Whatever Champion, Brock Lesnar! And stomps. Marches at the ramp, stops, waves to the crowd, and that was that. This is probably the most intriguing thing going on at WrestleMania this year. I know people are like, oh, well, Cody's going to be there. I really don't care. I don't care about Cody Rhodes. I don't care about all that stuff when it comes to Cody. Fuck Cody Rhodes. I've been saying it for months. I do not give a shit. This should be a damn good match, and hopefully we don't come out of this like, really, WWE, you really did that? Because that could happen. You could be seeing WWE making another big mistake because that's what WWE likes to do. You go with the WrestleMania card lineup. Bianca Belair returned after a recent interview with Becky Lynch. Now, earlier today, there was an advertisement on WWE's Twitter or social medias. I don't say socials just because it was supposed to be Becky and Ronda Rousey versus, Becky and Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey and Bianca Belair. Well, apparently somebody didn't tell Ronda Rousey because Ronda Rousey was on her YouTube, on her Facebook gaming stream, which, who the fuck uses Facebook gaming in 2022? It's YouTube or Twitch, nothing else. She would not be on on Facebook last night if she was going to be on Monday Night Raw. So somebody did not, and then somebody didn't tell the WWE brass or something that wasn't like she wasn't going to be there, because up until a couple hours before the show they had it advertised for a 2-on-2 tag team match. So I don't know what the fuck happened, but yeah, Ronda Rousey. Like, if you were expecting to see Ronda Rousey on Monday Night Raw, you were surely out of luck. But that is WWE not telling the talent that, yeah, we have you booked for a match on Monday. Which was a disaster waiting to happen because who was going to lose that match? Anyway. Also, for whatever reason, WWE decided, well, we're going to have all these SmackDown talents on here tonight. The main event is the Usos versus the Rated RK Bro, which was WWE saying, this is the battle for who is the best tag team in all of WWE. You know, that match you had a couple months ago, which also had the New Day, and it was these two teams? Anyway, Miz versus Rey Mysterio. Oh, this was dumb. So, Miz comes out and he eventually introduces Logan Paul as Lucha Logan. Fucking stupid. Yeah, so WWE announced the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on Friday will be on Friday. And in the very front of the thing was Damien Priest and Finn Balor. Two guys who have been feuding for the better part of the last, I don't know, month and a half. You mean to tell me you couldn't get those guys on your WrestleMania card, but yet you have room for Logan fucking Paul and Johnny Knoxville, but you can't get the secondary titles on WrestleMania? How sad is that? These guys have been building up and everyone expected a blow off at WrestleMania, only for it not to be at WrestleMania. I don't feel bad for anybody. It just makes me feel sad. It makes me feel sad that you have time for all these other things, but you don't have time on WrestleMania for your champions outside of the tag team champions and the women's champions, and of course Roman and Brock. Women can get a fatal 4-way tag team championship match on WrestleMania, but Ricochet and Damien and Finn Balor cannot. Just wow. So Dominic and Rey come out. Dominic charges Miz, beats the shit out of him some. Well, Rey Mysterio goes after Logan Paul, and Logan Paul gets away. Dominic gets ejected, so we have this match between Rey and The Miz. This match, I swear, lasted 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes. Rey wins with the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the magical roll-up. Yes, damn. It's just, I don't even know. This WWE cannot find. You give us shit like this. You give us shit like Logan fucking Paul. You have talent who have been working their asses off all year long, and you can't even find them a spot on WrestleMania. It just boggles my mind. It really, really does. So, after the match, Rey's music, Katie stands tall in the ring. Paul stares him down from the outside. Dominic runs back and rolls Paul back in the ring. They go for a double 619, but he scrambles to the floor. They still manage to snatch Rey's mask back because Logan Paul was wearing it the entire time in a fit of disrespect. Again, this guy is going to be on WrestleMania while Ricochet is defending his title on Friday night, and the Battle Royal is also on Friday night. It's just, oh boy, this company fucking sucks. So, we come back, we see what happened with Seth Rollins at the office of Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon tells him, dude, why did you jump through all those hoops for a match at WrestleMania? Why did you not just ask me? Which you could tell really pisses off Seth. Like, he has this look like, really? I could have just came into your office and just said, dude, I want to be on WrestleMania, and you would have just gave me a match? Yeah. So that's all that for that. So again, WWE took any intrigue that everyone had for the show and said, nah, we don't even care. We're just gonna kill it. We're just gonna kill all that intrigue. We do not care. So anybody expecting Cody tonight, it wasn't going to happen. They let you know that on social media today. That, haha, fooled you all. You thought you were gonna get to see Cody. You thought we were gonna give away. But here's the thing. Got Stone Cold Steve Austin coming back, and it looks like I guess this match might be on WrestleMania Night 1. The possibility of Stone Cold Steve Austin coming back to do something like wrestle or whatever. Don't you think that's gonna like kill anything for Cody coming back? Like any type of like, because I don't know. It just feels like everyone's going to be talking about what Austin and Kevin Owens are doing coming out of WrestleMania. which is why it needs to be the main event of that night. So, okay. We have Omos comes out for his next 2-on-1 handicap match. They show us that the Viking Raiders from SmackDown are going to be here. Y'all remember the War Raiders in NXT? Hanson and Rowe running roughshod all over the place, just having some banger matches, being in the first ever War Games match. They won that, right? No, they weren't. They won the second War Games match. My bad. They won the second War Games match. I forgot it was AOP and them and all that stuff. But like they won War Games. All the crazy shit that they did in NXT, all the great matches, all the feuds and stuff, how they were treated like big fucking deals. Had badass music. Had just went out there and just got over with the crowd. And here they are, now being called the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, losing to Omos in less than 2 minutes because Ivar goes to check on Eric, who got taken to the outside, and they lose by countout. After the match, Ivar gets absolutely destroyed after Omos knocks him right back to the floor. He talks him back. Kevin Patrick comes into the ring and asks him, "So, you've been very dominant. You were undefeated. Haven't been knocked off your feet. Is there any WWE superstar Omos has threatened that?" He says he's undefeated and will dominate everyone. Nobody can take me on. Kevin Patrick's like, dude, there has to be somebody you respect. Out comes Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley has been out with a shoulder injury. There was thought he was going to be out for the next 6 months or so. 6 to 8 months with shoulder surgery. That clearly did not happen. And he's being a babyface. I'm going to be honest. Bobby Lashley is always better as the heel. Businesslike, the big businessman, dick heel, that is Bobby Lashley at his best. So, Bobby Lashley gets in the ring. Omos is just shoving him around from left to right, all these corners, shoving him around. They keep struggling, until Bobby Lashley, collides with Omos and knocks him off his feet and knocks him on his back, causing him to run away. Are you serious? You couldn't even wait to WrestleMania. The one thing that you had that made Omos even a tiny bit intriguing was the fact that no man has taken this guy off of his feet. And you had Bobby Lashley do that tonight. 5 or 6 nights before you could have the match at WrestleMania, you take away the one thing everybody wanted to see somebody do on free TV. Are you out of your fucking mind? Now, Omos is nothing special to me, and I don't think he's going to be worth a damn, but when we look back on everyone's career and everything else, Omos is going to have the same lackluster career that Great Khali. Yes, Great Khali won the World Championship in a Battle Royal, but he did nothing with it. And by the time he won the championship, the World Heavyweight Championship was meaningless. You're going to have and it just doesn't make any sense why you would do that. You gave the one thing away, and that is him being knocked on his feet. You just killed everything that Omos was. Omos' entire thing is, this guy is dominant. This guy is unbeatable. He's not even being off his feet, except for when he goes down to pin somebody. And you just killed it all before WrestleMania. Way to go. How to kill a fucking career like that. Dumb. Well, 24-hour shit, don't care. Here comes the bloodline, and for whatever reason, it's like, "Oh, we're on Monday Night Raw. We can't wear our black tracksuit. We have to wear a red one. The Usos have to come out with Bloodline shirts that are in red, not black." It's like, just because you're on Monday Night Raw doesn't mean you have to wear red. It's fucking dumb. Reigns talks to Mike, calls on Pittsburgh to acknowledge me, says he was going to come out here and shine on us, talk about God mode, talk about being the last needle mover, talk about he used to run Raw until Fox begged him to come save SmackDown, which is a shoot. SmackDown was going to Fox. Fox wanted Roman Reigns. Plain and simple. That was just the damn truth. Fans can't with the what chant treatment. Reigns says he's done all there is to do in this business except for one thing. He says if you keep giving me that what treatment, I'm going to smash them all like he would smash Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just like he's going to smash Brock Lesnar. He continues and says he's done everything except beat the Beast at WrestleMania. And that pisses him off. And chant suplex Steiner. Reigns says if the crowd wants to talk about Brock, let's do that. He says what bothers him about Brock is how Brock was out for blood a few weeks ago. It was personal to him, but he's already spilled Roman's blood. He recalls back when 2018 at WrestleMania 34, the last time they were in the main event, how he cut Roman Reigns' head open. That was the year from the WrestleMania beforehand, which was 2017, all the way to WrestleMania 18. WWE and Vince McMahon booked it so nobody kicked out of the spear and nobody kicked out of the F5 for an entire year. So when Brock kicked out of the spear and Roman kicked out of the F5, it was supposed to be a big deal. And when it happened, nobody cared. It wasn't this, oh my god, shock. I mean, yes, the commentators acted like it was a big fucking deal, but nobody cared. And then in that same match, you had like 3 spears and 5 F5s. They kept kicking out of each other's finishers until Brock hit that final F5 and kept the championship. And of course, the time before that, it was WrestleMania 31 when Seth Rollins cashed in at WrestleMania and had the heist of the century. But yeah, the last 2 times they were in the main event of WrestleMania. There was another one too. 32 was Roman Reigns. 31 was Roman and Brock. 32 was Roman and Triple H. That was terrible. 33 was, I believe, Roman and Undertaker. Yeah. 34 was in New Orleans. 35 was, of course, Becky Charlotte and them. 36 was Brock and them. And then 37 last year was Roman and Edge and them. So, yeah. They've only faced each other twice at WrestleMania, and Brock is 1-1. Is 1-0-1 with Roman Reigns. So, there's that. Reigns says it was personal to him, but he's already spilled his blood, of course, WrestleMania. He goes on about Lesnar making him bleed all over New Orleans. His father was disappointed. His wife wanted him out of the business, and so on. His kids couldn't even recognize him. His entire family was embarrassed by him. He's already taken Brock's advocate. He said he's going to take everything from Lesnar. He's already taken Brock's advocate, upgraded him as special counsel, and talking about Lesnar's blood at Madison Square Garden. Says this Sunday he will make the final move by taking Brock's title, and Brock will know how it feels like to make it personal, because for Reigns, it has always been personal. And that is that. He raises the finger, and the music hits, and that is that. This is the only thing, and I guess they can't decide when AJ Styles versus Edge is going to happen. Right now, I guess it's on Sunday, and the Cody or Seth Rollins versus mystery opponent is going to happen on Saturday. So outside of Edge versus if it's Edge and AJ on Sunday, and Brock and Roman on Sunday, and that's it. That's the only things that are intriguing about that night. WrestleMania feels like, if you take away, outside of the intriguing matches, which to me are just Edge and AJ and Brock and Roman, they feel like just episodes of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown on pay-per-view. That's it. More stupid shit with the tag team championships. With the women's tag team titles. Sasha Banks, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, versus Shayna Baszler and Natalya, and the women's tag team champions Carmella and Zelina Vega. The only tidbit from this that you gotta mention is the fact that Michael Cole remembers Team Bad from 2015 because Jimmy Smits asked him about the chemistry with Sasha Banks and Naomi, and he's like, actually, these two teamed together all the way back in 2015, and they just been excited about teaming together again. So, yeah. Other than that, same old shtick, different day. Corey Graves is out in commentary. Carmella comes over to be all horn dog with them and have him compliment her and all this other shit, causing a riptide into Zelina Vega 1, 2, 3. Who cares? After break, we get a video package of Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin set to the bar with the bar by Kid Rock, and I'm like, what a fucking song to do for the video package. Kevin Owens is in the ring now. He says, man, wasn't that one hell of a video package? And he drops some truth here saying, nobody does video packages better than WWE, and that's absolutely true. You heard people say somehow he was somehow mocking Steve Austin last week, but those are lies. What? Those were lies. What? Those were lies. What? And it's like, God, fuck the damn what chance. I would want to, if I ever met Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'd be like, dude, you had a hell of a career, but dude, you made one of the worst, you created one of the worst chants in all of professional wrestling. He says he was paying homage to Stone Cold. What? He was paying homage to Stone Cold Steve Austin. We all love and remember. Owens knows everyone is ecstatic about his Austin disgress on the KO show in the main event of WrestleMania. And so is he. But last week he was doing everyone a favor because that is the closest we ever see to the old Stone Cold we used to admire. He says that Austin has been gone for 19 years. What? 19 years. What? 19 years and he's never coming back. Says it will be Steve on the KO show, not Stone Cold. But the same Steve that has been drinking himself into oblivion for 19 years. The same Steve who is bored, so bored, he begs people to come on his little podcast so he can talk about the good old days and make him feel relevant again. What do you want to bet that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to have Kevin Owens on his podcast during WrestleMania week? Just saying. Makes it feel. Owens says Steve isn't going to pick a fight because he knows that what would happen if he does. He's going to come to the KO show, have a little chat about his career. Owens is glad Austin accepted his invitation. He says he will give Austin the biggest platform he ever had, make him feel good, and give him the send-off he thinks he deserves. He says he's going to do something special for Austin. He hates beer and thinks it's disgusting. I agree with him. He's going to drink one with Austin. He says they could toast to Austin finally officially passing the torch to Owens. It's not only the new Stone Cold, but the true master of the stunner, because Owens 316 says my stunner is better than yours. And says if you think my stunner is better than his, give me a hell yeah. Some fans do say that. He warns Austin there will be a stunner and Austin will be the one receiving the end of it, and he tries to get funny with Owens. Owens says if Austin tries to pick a fight with him, he will pour one of Austin's beers on his lifeless carcass, and that's the bottom line because KO said so. Drops the mics, taunts the fans in the corner, and that is that. This needs to be the last thing on Saturday night. Anything you put on after this is just going to fall flat. If they want to really do Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte 9000 in the actual final last match of the night, yeah, that is going, especially after this, after what they do here, that's anything that comes on after this. If this is going to be the next to last thing on Saturday night, and then you go into the women's main event, you're going to kill the audience for that match. Nobody's going to care. Most people are probably going to get up and say, hey, I saw Steve Austin. I don't care about the fucking women's match. They're going to get up and they're going to leave. They're going to leave and not care that Rousey and Charlotte have a boring snooze fest of a match. If they were smart, this needs to be the final thing you see. Is it going to be just a talk show where they sit down and talk and go kumbaya? No. They're going to have a fight, and it's going to end with Stone Cold hitting a stunner on Kevin Owens, doing the beer bash, with getting his beers and having a nice little beer bash. Maybe even do one more. He's like, He pours some beer on him, picks him up, hits him with another stunner. The last thing we need to see on Saturday night is Stone Cold Steve Austin going to each corner, drinking a couple beers, and that is that. Anything that follows this is going to die 1,000 deaths. And that's all you gotta say about that. For whatever reason, Ricochet is here to take on Austin Theory. He defends his title against both Los Lotharios on Friday night. This match lasted 3 minutes, and Austin Theory beat the Intercontinental Champion. Y'all remember when Sami Zayn lost the Intercontinental title to Ricochet a couple weeks ago, and everyone thought it was great that Ricochet is getting a championship opportunity that he hasn't had since he won the United States Championship all the way back in, probably like 2018 or 19, only to lose it a month later to AJ Styles and do shit all besides getting squashed by Brock Lesnar at the next Saudi show. Yeah, I was excited at the fact that he won the championship, but I knew what was going to happen. He's going to lose and lose and lose. He might defend the title on Friday and then lose and lose and lose and lose because WWE doesn't know how to book number one contenders without the champion losing to that number one contender. It is absolutely stupid. 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 Bianca Belair is here for the ring. They did talk about Triple H announcing his retirement last week. Colin Graves praised Triple H for what he's done for others in his own career. I said it on Friday. I wasn't really into it on Friday because I was just fucking tired. Ronda Rousey and all this shit on SmackDown and Rampage were tiring me out. But Triple H did more for this business in NXT and behind the scenes than he in the last 8 years than he ever did in the ring. And it sucks what he's going through, and it sucks that he's not going to be able to have the same impact and help cultivate the company and give us what we should have had in what he was doing in NXT. It sucks. But I hope he's happy and healthy with his life. He's on borrowed time. We all know he has a defibrillator in his chest, but that's only going to keep him alive for so much longer. For all we know, Triple H could have maybe 5-10 years left of his life on this earth. We don't know. I hope he has a happy, healthy life and can live it for as long as he can. Belair brings up how Lynch talked last week about how she'd do anything to keep the title. She found out about that 2 weeks ago and how low Lynch would go. She says her success threatens Lynch. Goes on and congratulates Lynch on taking her out for a week. She says she's back like she's never left. You were gone for a week. That's not that long. Says this is going to go too long, dating back to SummerSlam, and Lynch tried everything in the book to make sure the title stayed with her. And asks what else Lynch has up her sleeve. Belair says Lynch has nothing because she will march into WrestleMania, take the title, and there's not a damn thing she can do about it. Becky's music hits. She waits for a fight, but Becky apparently comes from under the ring and starts brawling until Belair beats Lynch down in the corner. Lynch drops her with a big knee. Then gets a steel chair shot to the gut, then over the back to Belair. Becky talks some trash and pulls out a pair of scissors. She says she was coming for her hair, and she's going for it. Wraps it around, goes to go cut it, but she's able to be. Bianca Belair gets her up, hits the KOD. It's like, I ain't done with you yet. Picks her up again, hits another KOD, grabs the scissors, comes over to Becky Lynch and starts cutting Becky Lynch's hair. And cuts some more. And cuts some more. Finally, officials, Pierce the Villain, referees, and everyone else comes down here and gets her off. And she leaves after cutting off some of Becky Lynch's hair. And I'm sitting there looking at it like, there ain't no fucking way you're gonna have Becky Lynch get hit with the KOD twice and have her hair cut in humiliating fashion on TV and not retain her championship at WrestleMania. So, anybody thinking that Bianca Belair is probably going to win, you might want to think that again. Wrestling 101, you're not going to have the babyface or anybody stand tall and look as dominant as Bianca Belair did here and have them go out there and win the championship. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. It wouldn't surprise me, but it wouldn't surprise me either way. Bianca Belair wins or Bianca Belair loses. Because they're telegraphing to you that, yeah, she's losing and Becky Lynch is going to keep the championship. But we will have to wait and see on that. Of course, Becky Lynch loses her mind. She says, I'm going to end her. I'm going to end her. As fans chant, you deserve it. Still one handicap match in parentheses, Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin versus Drew McIntyre. It seems like they're ready to split up Corbin and Moss because Moss keeps putting out more and more terrible jokes that Mr. Corbin does not find funny. So we had the 2-on-1 handicap match. After the break, Cole plugs of how Brantley Gilbert and James Jane Decker will perform America the Beautiful on night 1 and night 2. He called Jesse James Decker country badass. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Cole. The words country and badass do not belong in the same sentence. Plain and simple. I don't care who does the America the Beautiful. It's just whatever. Sarah Shiver's backstage and Becky Lynch, who is looking in the mirror. Lynch is also holding some of her hair in her hands. Seeing she cuts Shiver off, simply looks in the camera and says, Belair, you bitch. That's that. Bell rings. Corbin in the face starts. They lock up. Corbin shoves Drew, goes for Corbin, but Corbin retreats to the floor and tags in Moss. And then he walks away as Moss pretty much gets absolutely destroyed. Claymore kick, 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre wins in a very short fashion. After the match, of course, Corbin gets involved now, beats him up, lays him out, and then takes the sword again. So Hall of Famer Edge attacked AJ with a steel chair last week, resulting in AJ's DQ win over Seth Rollins. Edge is backstage somewhere in the dark room, and he says he had a choice to make last week. Blast Rollins with a chair and give him another beating, which he was tempting, or let fate take its course. He realized he and AJ needed each other for various reasons. He says he promised a couple weeks ago that he was going to take fate into his own hands from now on. He said AJ needed him to pull the veil off, to remove the veil of mediocrity, to show he's a generational talent, remind him that he is an heir-defining superstar, while he needed AJ to become who he is now, and that he to be turned into a blinding light. The benchmark of WWE, he goes on and says they will be push each other to different places, but only Edge will keep soaring. AJ will stay where he is. This will be a match for the ages at WrestleMania. He saw it in AJ's eyes last week. He knows he's already remembering AJ's head, and at WrestleMania it will be AJ's judgment. And AJ's judgment is sealed. He laughs and sits back in the shadow to end the segment. I'm excited for this match, but I'm also you can't put your expectations up as high as you want to. Anybody remember 2018 WrestleMania 34? AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. They built it as the dream match. And we got all excited. We couldn't believe, we're going to get Wrestle Kingdom style match. We're going to get these guys going out there, giving us one of the best damn matches. 5-star match is going to be great. And we got absolutely disappointed. Led to a Shinsuke Nakamura heel turn that lasted forever. And then, as they went on in that feud, the matches got better and better and better until the final match they had was the best match they had, but it wasn't at WrestleMania. Yeah. Backstage, Sarah Schreiber with AJ Styles. He asked for a reaction to Edge, and Edge says Edge used a lot of words to justify another cheap shot. That's his reaction. He goes on and says Edge has changed his look and his music in an attempt to get AJ's head. And mission accomplished. AJ has thought is that he plans to do the Edge. He says Edge wants to destroy him, and the feeling is mutual. He says the verdict is in. He will deliver a beating at Edge at WrestleMania. One the WWE Universe, and Edge will never forget. Walks off. Again, I want to be excited for this match, but the last time we got super excited for a match, we got Nakamura versus AJ Styles, and that match was shit on WrestleMania. Main event time, okay, bro, versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. This was a really good match with a shitty finish. What can you say? They had themselves a really, really good match here. Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, they gotta make him look like Freddie Mercury. Rick Boogs was out there to watch the match. And it looks like RK Bro was going to win. Raping DDT, which Michael Cole was so excited to say vintage Orton. Going down for the RKO, but the Street Profits hit the ring, attack Orton for the disqualification. RK Bro win. After the match, all three teams start brawling. Nakamura and Brooks get involved as well. Brooks press slams Jimmy over his head for a few times and drops him over the top rope. Brooks and Jimmy fight up the ramp to the back. The Profits are alone in the ring with Orton until Riddle runs in and drops Angelo with the RKO. Montez Ford leaps off the top and rolls through and comes back to his feet for a big assisted RKO from Orton and Riddle. They start doing all this. With 2 minutes left in the show, we get RKOs on more of the Street Profits, and that was that as the show went off the air. Team RK Bro pick up the wins as the Alpha Academy would know where to be found. WrestleMania is almost here, and it's absolutely the most pedestrian WrestleMania I think we've ever seen. See, WWE gets a little bit of a leeway with WrestleMania 32 because they had injury upon injury upon injury upon injury going into that show. So, yes, it was a bad WrestleMania, but they had excuses because half the roster was injured. You ain't got that fucking excuse here. This show looks fucking pathetic. We'll get to it on Friday. But Friday is going to be very interesting because Super Card of Honor is happening. And honestly, I want to check it out. But I also want to get to SmackDown too because it is the final show before we get to WrestleMania. Also, it was announced the Steiner brothers are going into the Hall of Fame. The biggest question being, is Scott Steiner going to get a live mic? Because, my God, I want to hear what that boy's got to say. Or are they going to tame him? I don't know. Obviously, the person who should be inducting him in the Hall of Fame is Braun Breaker. Plain and simple. The only person who should be inducting his father and uncle into the Hall of Fame is Braun Breaker. Good job for them. They do absolutely deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. They've done so much together. There was talk of if they couldn't get Scott on board, they were going to induct Rick by himself. And I'm like, no. Rick Steiner should not be going in the Hall of Fame by himself. It's got to be with his brother. Rick Steiner on his own is not a Hall of Fame worthy talent. With the Steiner brothers, yes, he is. But outside of that, no. So good to see WWE finding a way to get Scott Steiner to come in for the Hall of Fame. It should be great for them. We'll have to wait and see what happens on a Friday. It's going to be a crazy week. WrestleMania is around the corner. WrestleMania week is here. We're going to see a lot. If you want to see some professional wrestling, but you don't want to watch WWE, GCW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, New Japan, and a bunch of other indie events are happening this coming weekend. So make sure you find a way to watch all this because it's going to be a big weekend. That is your Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw, again, was pedestrian at best. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the Frowns Club, and find me on Instagram at the Frowns Club, and on twitch.tv/the Frowns Club. And I'll see you guys Wednesday for whoever Tony Khan has signed for the Owen Cup qualifying tournament match to go up against the Bunny. Until then, mine is the Frowns, and I'll see you guys later.